Well, a warm welcome to the video. Here we are, initially at the Hilton Hotel Heathrow Airport, which is conveniently connected to Terminal 4. And that's useful as today we are flying with Qatar Airways in their Airbus A380 in business class. Very exciting too. And here we are, right around the corner from the hotel is the entrance to Terminal 4. Here's our jet for today, this 10-year-old Airbus A380. And you can see here the tunnel deposits you at the far end of Terminal 4, so it is actually super convenient, particularly if you have a morning departure. This is the check-in area for Qatar Airways, Premium Economy and Economy on the right, and over on the left is where first and business class passengers can check in. Have to say, it's the first time I've been offered orange juice as part of the check-in. Very nice too. A quick flit through fast track into the lovely Terminal 4. Probably one of my favourite terminals. Lots of my regular haunts like Gucci, and yes, there's a Boots, so somewhere to get my essential Gaviscon. Anyway, after some shopping, we headed straight to the Qatar Lounge. There are two options at Heathrow Airport for Qatar, the frequent flyer lounge and then the lounge for business and first class passengers. Obviously, in the spirit of doing a decent review, I chose to look at both lounges, and here is the frequent flyer lounge. I have to say it's very, very nice indeed. Fairly functional, but very comfortable, and actually when we arrived, which was fairly early, it was almost completely empty. There's a fairly sparse selection of alcoholic drinks, but actually plenty of tea and coffee and the kind of things you'd probably prefer at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wait though, because it wasn't long before we headed over to the business and first class lounge, and this really was a lovely place to be. It also included a la carte dining and of course plenty of champagne. Oh, go on then, it is 6:30 in the morning after all. The business and first class lounge is very, very nice indeed. Very plush and very premium feeling. Now, I was flying with Qatar on a reward flight today, as was my wife, but the reward gods were not looking favourably on us, and I couldn't get us both on the same flight. So amusingly, this was my wife's flight that was leaving 10 minutes before my flight on my Airbus A380. Quite amusing because there was Wi-Fi on both flights, and we kept in touch all the way through on the way down to Doha. Boarding was super efficient, and I was headed today for seat 10A, right at the front of the business class cabin. It's a big cabin too, but you may have also spotted on that lovely Aerolopper map a bar as well. We'll see more about the bar in a moment. Anyways, let's get seated. Now, for many, the Collins Aerospace seat I'm sat in today in the A380 is not the best out there anymore. And in fact, my wife was flying in the Qsuite, and I quite believe that's probably a better product overall. But you know what? This was a nice seat. It had plenty of space. It is a little bit more exposed than some of the other business class suites that you'll see out there, but folks, it did have an amazing view. Now, for those interested, I was in the front row, as you can see, and actually I didn't experience any real noise from the galley or the toilets that were just in front of me here. Now, having been shown to my seat and I was being referenced by name already, it was very nice to have an Arabic coffee, a nice glass of champagne and a date. I was also given a hot towel as well. A very warm welcome to Qatar Airways. Cheers. This was a morning flight, so sadly no caviar service today, but it was a decent menu, lots of options, and actually, as we'll see a bit later on, a really good standard of quality. You might need to pause these to actually read them, but I thought I'd try and capture them for other people's reference. The safety video was soon shown, and it featured Kevin Hart and was actually really, really funny. It's one of the funniest safety videos I think I've ever seen. So fair play to Qatar from bringing some comedy to proceedings. The earphones that you were provided were noise cancelling and actually were very comfortable too. More of a seat tour then, plenty of connectivity and a international plug socket as well. And in addition to that, you had a little cubby, which was a struggle to open, where you had water, and that's where the earphones were ensconced. when I first boarded. Massive screen, which was touchscreen, or of course you got to use the remote control as well. Now I was headed for Dubai eventually. Watch out for a video for our flight from Doha to Dubai, featuring the Al Safwa Lounge as well. But let me tell you, we were pleased to be leaving because it was just about to snow here in Heathrow, and you can see the weather is pretty grim. Now, is it only me that's really happy when the weather's really awful in the UK and you know you're heading somewhere hot? I don't know why, but it just makes the holiday feel that much better. Anyway, I'll go quiet as we get airborne. It never fails to surprise me just how quiet the A380 cabin is, even on takeoff. Absolutely amazing aircraft, and probably my favourite aircraft to fly on. Soon my pre-ordered Bloody Mary appeared, and it was really good too, and I was asked if I wanted it super spicy or just normal. I went for fairly normal, and it was very nice too. A nice start to our onboard service. One of my usual rituals is to check out the IFE and pick out what I'm going to watch through the flight. Now there's a bar on board and that did rather foil my plans, but the IFE is very extensive indeed on board Qatar Airways. There was simply tons of content for pretty much any taste. The A380 really is a beautiful jet to fly on, so stable. A bit like a massive airborne cruise ship. And talking of massive, here is the massive business class cabin that's on the upper deck. We were provided with amenity kits by Diptyque. It's not a name I know particularly well, but boys and girls got a different carrying case, which I thought was a really nice touch. Now, I don't tend to do loo reviews, and I'm not really doing one here, but this is just to show that in the amenity kit, I thought it was odd that it didn't have a toothbrush and toothpaste. But fear not, there's a huge drawer full of them in the toilets. Anyway, let's head to the bar. The bar on the A380 is exceptional, very spacious with an excellent premium drink selection. There's lots of places to sit, and you can even eat up here if you really wanted to. There's an incredible feeling of spaciousness, and it was great to engage with other passengers for an hour or two as we headed down to Doha. What an absolutely beautiful view too could be had as you were sipping on a very fine whiskey or similar. And here's not such a fine view, but me at the bar enjoying myself greatly. Cheers. If you're into your whiskies, there's some very good selections, including some Japanese whiskies, which were superb. Now, beautifully, you can dine on demand with Qatar, which is great, as I'd asked for a bit of a delay in my meal. So that gave me plenty of time to horse around in my lie flat bed. Now, as you can see, as it is exposed, that's one thing, but actually it was reasonably spacious. Now, I'm 6'4", as many of you all know, and I actually fitted into this seat reasonably well. I don't think I could sleep on my side because the foot cubby would be a bit narrow, but actually it was a pretty comfortable place to lie flat in. You also got pajamas and a very nice blanket to go with it too. Anyway, soon it was time to eat. I gave my flight attendant about a 30-minute notice and she soon got things underway for me, which I thought was a really nice touch and brilliant not to be served on their time, but instead be served when you were ready. I really like that. Qatar get top marks for presentation too. Yes, it's a fake candle glistening away there, but it just makes it all look that much nicer. It feels a bit more higher end. This was the Arabic meze. It was absolutely delicious. And then it was onto the Qatari prawn mashkool, which was with basmati rice and crispy onions. It also was absolutely delicious, although perhaps the presentation was not the best. I followed up with a cheese board, which for once, unlike many airlines, had plenty of crackers. Thanks very much, Qatar. We were treated to some fantastic scenery on our way down to Doha, and the service kept coming. I thought I'd had lots of whiskey, probably time to calm down a little bit and just have a beer, which was very nice too. Now, as I mentioned, my wife had actually flown down about 10 minutes before me, also on a reward ticket, but she'd flown in Qatar's Airbus A380-900. And here's her video, which I politely asked her to take so that you could get to see what the Qsuite looked like. It's a very, very different look and feel to the seat that I was in, much more private, much more modern, and I have to say it looks to be a lot more spacious too. The soft product all look very similar, but you'll see here that the cabin is laid out very differently. You'll often hear of people saying they've been Qatar'd, and the reason for that is because Qatar has lots of different types of business class seats across its fleet. There's the seat I'm in, there's the Qsuite, and in fact when we flew between Doha and Dubai, we sat in yet another different type of business class seat. I'll show a video of that in the coming weeks. But as you'll see here, the Qsuite has to be one of the best seats in the air at the moment, not least because it's completely private. My wife said that the food and service was exceptional, so that's good to hear that there's consistency in terms of the soft and service product. We kept in touch as we were flying down to Doha using Wi-Fi, which was really, really good. Although interestingly, my wife didn't have to pay for Wi-Fi, but I did. So that was interesting to me. Although I didn't have to pay very much. I think it was £7.99 for the whole flight. All too soon, and I really, really mean that on this flight. I really didn't want it to come to an end. But anyways, we were soon arriving in Doha, about 6 hours and 30 minutes after we left London Heathrow. So let's review. This was by far the best business class flight I have ever taken. The service, the ground experience, the crew, the food, not to mention, of course, the onboard bar, all of it was an exceptional experience and made all the better because this just cost me 45,000 avios and some taxes. It was brilliant to be called by name throughout the whole flight. I was shown to my seat and without exception was shown a huge level of courtesy in terms of every crew member that I came into contact with. And that was the same in the lounge at London Heathrow too. Just exceptional a la carte style service. Really, really good. Now, I normally say, would I fly this airline again? This is different because I would now go out of my way to fly Qatar Airways again. From start to finish, this was just an exceptional flight, and I'd strongly recommend others to give Qatar a try. They are certainly giving other carriers a run for their money, particularly those that fly to and from the UK. Welcome to Doha and welcome to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to my subscribers. I really appreciate your support. See you on the next one.